Radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network.
All right. Welcome, Fade to Black. How you doing? Today's Thursday, August 7th, 2025. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Let's do this, man. Yeah. All right. I'm going to make this announcement right at the front of the show. We'll talk about this more in just a minute. Linda is having some severe technical issues tonight. And first off, she sends all of her love and energy to all of the Fadernauts and completely bummed out. She goes, let's just do audio. And I said, Linda, I'm going to be talking to myself on the screen. And I want you here and present. She goes, yeah, I get it. So here's the bottom line. Just let me just say, she had her old camera system removed, and she has a tech guy who is wonderful, who is not available right now. He is not at Linda's studio. And so we went to do our normal sound check that we have been doing for years and years and years and years. And the new camera that was installed was not working. It was turning on and then turning off, and having to reset it. And it's one of those PTZ automatic swivel cameras that tracks and follows you, big fancy camera. And it is beyond her technical ability. And I don't have a way to look at it or see it or do anything. And we tried. And Linda, she goes, she said, Jimmy, you have my permission to tell the truth. I'm going to tell the truth. Linda said, Jimmy, I deal with research. Everybody else deals with this technical stuff. And I just don't know what to do. And she's absolutely right. And it's so frustrating for her because all she wants to do is just come on this show, and she loves the Fadernauts, and her and I have been, so close for so many years that it's very frustrating. So we're looking at dates. I'm going to talk to her at length over the weekend, and we'll get something lined up ASAP. We're trying to do that next week, and see. I've got guests that are booked and confirmed for next week. But we will move somebody and something around to make it happen for Linda. So we tried. We really, really, really tried. And trust me, she wants to be here. She does. And all of you know this. And so she's the absolute very best. So that's what's going on. If you guys ask me questions right now. So just so you know, I hung up the phone with her 2 minutes before we went live. I wasn't even in the studio. I was outside of the studio talking to her about all of this. And I said, Linda, I've got to run. Let's get it worked. Yes. Just give my best and love and energy to the Fadernauts. And I said I would. And I hung up. I came into the studio and literally went live with you guys. So let me get my head straight. You guys ask questions. Let's get all of that stuff posted. Let's do a live AMA. The show must go on. There's a lot of people here tonight for Linda, and I get that. And so does she, right? And so the show must go on. I don't want to have dead air or a bunch of people come over and then not see anything here at all. That's not the way to do it. And so let's do an AMA. You can ask me anything. post your questions in the live chat. Please post your questions in all caps, so I can see it. Right, that's the bottom line. There'll be a lot of questions here, as they always are, and if they're not in all caps, then I'm going to scroll past your question. Okay, that's really it. I won't see your question unless it is in all caps. So as I start to get stuff staged here, again, post everything in all caps in the live chat, and I will see it. Again, lower caps. The chat is so busy that I don't read the chat. So if something is in lowercase, it will never get stopped on, because I'm scrolling. I stop at the large caps, and that's the reason for it. All right. So let's get this cracking. I just got back from the Sigh games out on the East Coast, and it was a lot of fun. Worked my butt off. But Sev Talk was there, and she gifted me, I want to show everybody this. She gifted me this crystal and beautiful quartz. And there it is. It's sitting with me right here in the studio. It's beautiful. And it's got it's the top, right? So it's been that's where it broke off, but you can see the top. It's beautiful. And but it lines up with my other crystals that are here. And what I do in front of me each night is I line crystals up in a line with my meteorite, which is here. And they all have this strange angle to it that allow these to line up with each other. It's bizarre that they work like this. So I've got them lined up. Seb, thank you for the quartz. It's beautiful. And it's lined up now in front of my console to get that energy going in here. So there you go. Thank you so much, Seb. It is beautiful. And there it is. What a great week here on Fade to Black. Monday I was off because I was traveling. Tuesday night we had Sarah Breskman Cosme here. What an amazing conversation that was. Last night Caroline Corey was here. Another amazing conversation. Tonight, Linda, with her technical issues, we'll have her rescheduled, hopefully for next week. We're going to take a look at that over the weekend, and we will make that happen. All right. I do have 4 or 5 major events coming up all in 2026. The Conscious Life Expo in February. I have the Contact Modalities Expo in Delavan, Wisconsin. That's in May, all in 2026. Contacting the Desert in May, late May of 2026. Tickets available on Thanksgiving Day. Then I head over to Scotland for the Monty Python tour. That is going to be amazing, and that is in August of 2026. And then November of 2026, I'm going to Peru and Easter Island. As I get details on all of this, the links for everything are below, and they're in order, and you can just click on it for tickets and information. The only ones that don't have information right now is Contacting the Desert. That's going to be updated here shortly. And Hidden Inca Tours with Brian Forrester, which is Peru and Easter Island. So when those dates get locked down, they'll be up on the website. I didn't check today, but usually Brian will send me an email when the and let me know when the website is updated. I haven't gotten that yet, but I do go in and check from time to time. And the same thing with Contact in the Desert. If you go to Contact in the Desert right now, it's the 2025 version of Contact in the Desert that is up there right now. But all of that is going to be updated shortly. The same thing with actually the Conscious Life Expo. The dates are up there. The new guests and speakers and schedule and everything that's being worked out over the next couple of months. But tickets and everything else should be up there. And that includes the Contact Modalities Expo in Delavan, Wisconsin, which will be at the same resort. That resort in Delavan, Wisconsin is incredible on Delavan Lake. Absolutely insane. What a great conference that was. So if you're in the Midwest, Delavan, Wisconsin. That is the place to be on those dates in May. So that is that. Linda Moulton Howe, technical difficulties. If you're just now tuning in, she got a new camera. It was installed and is not working. And that's it. She's on her own there. And when it comes to technical stuff like this, I did my best, but it's just frustrating. I have a hard enough time here. I have a nice studio, but when things have to get installed and new stuff comes in, a printer, whatever, computer interfaces, all of this stuff, all of this cameras. I have 3 cameras here in the studio. Okay. You can see my studio. That's one side. If I come to here, I'm pointing over here. That's that side of the studio. And you can see how everything lights up, and you see that's all going on over there. You don't even see it. All of this stuff has to be installed, maintained, dialed in, twisted, knobs turned, and all of that. It's a technical world that we live in. And so any one of these components go down, it's no show. And it's very difficult. And lighting and oh man, it's just crazy. All of these cameras have individual lenses. Each one of these it's got a lens on it that you remove. Not a webcam. No, it's not a webcam. Looks too good for a webcam, doesn't it? But yeah, it's just a technical world, and any of this stuff goes down. I have 2 mixers. I have 3 computer audio interfaces. I've trimmed things back. I run now with 4 computers. I used to run with 6. But I removed 2 computers and simplified things. I used to have 3 curved monitors. Now I just have one giant monitor, one giant curved monitor in front of me, which enabled me to remove a computer and then split these screens. All of that is just technical craziness that I have to go through. And, but with Linda there trying to do this on her own, I can barely do it on my own. So that's where we are at. Okay, so I'm going to go to the end here. Let's see. And I'm going to start highlighting things and okay, I'm just highlighting, and then we'll fire this thing up. Okay, and we will get to it. We will get to it. Yeah, yeah, great questions. I'm just looking at the highlights of them. And I will say this to everybody. 1 question each. If I catch you asking 2 questions, only your first one's going to get read. Your second one will get passed over, because I want everybody to get in on the action tonight, like I do with every AMA. Okay, so let's see who is up first. All right. Okay, here we go. All right, everybody, welcome. It is an AMA tonight. Ask me anything. Post your questions in all caps over in the live chat. I love doing these. And, this is, if there's ever evidence of a live show, this is it. This is live. I don't edit the questions. I don't look at them. I don't pre-screen. I don't do any of that. And zero prep. The decision to do an AMA tonight was literally 1 minute before showtime. And that's where we are at. Okay, so let's go. First question up. This is from Nemo. Why is the game rigged? Now, that's a great question. That's a great question. And It's rigged for control. That's the bottom line. The game is rigged for control. It doesn't matter who is in power, what their intentions were going in, because power corrupts. And it changes everybody. And if you're going into the game with already an ego, a narcissistic, megalomaniac type of personality going in, that's just going to get amplified and magnified and just turn into a really, really, really bad thing. And it has happened over and over and over again with governments, with religion, with cults, with the military, corporations. Power corrupts. It absolutely corrupts. So if we are facing it on every front, and it doesn't matter where you turn, it does not matter where you turn, there is somebody in power that is rigging the game. So you are fighting that battle all the time from every direction. It doesn't matter if it's your credit card company, the electric company, your car company, your mortgage company, your boss, your coworkers, the manager of coworkers, all the way through to religion and the church that you attend. Man. To local government officials, local law enforcement, national law enforcement, intelligence agencies, whatever it does, through all the way through politics. It's life is a game that is rigged, coming at you. That's it. For control. For control. Why is the game rigged? And if you look at the UFO subject, I'm having a deja vu, by the way, about this question. That's pretty wild. I'm having a deja vu about talking about the deja vu about this question. And you got to love it when that happens. If you are listening to me right now, then you have experienced all of this, and now you're stopping to think about how that is happening. It's happening at every level of every turn of everything that you do. It is such a scary thought. And today, when you throw the internet in, you throw social media in, you throw 24-hour media coverage, you throw in the live streams that come in with breaking news from around the world for whatever reason that breaking, it's all there to control. All of it. It's all there. It's all there for control. It's been that way since the beginning of time. Once they figured out that you need, and this was done and discovered thousands of years ago. How do you rig the game? Thousands and thousands of years ago. So the leaders from the beginning, and you would think that this is a modern situation. Let's go back thousands of years ago. They figured out the only way that they could stay in power, that they could grow their power, grow their wealth, grow the military, is to have a complacent population that spends money, consumes goods, pays taxes, and doesn't ask questions and behaves for them. And as long as you kept that control in place, collecting money, paying taxes, going to work, right? And being a part of the system, that was the only thing. So that control had to be there. And they started to learn how to control. And those methods of control are so fine-tuned today that it's the same goals in place. They want you consuming goods, spending money, paying taxes, and not asking questions. That's it. That's the goal. It's the goal of corporations. It's the goal of the military. It's the goal of religion. Send us your money. Tax-free. Religions are tax-free. Send us your money. God, who is the most powerful about, needs your money. How just sit and listen to the preacher preach. Behave and give us your money. Don't ask questions. Yeah. Military. Pay for the military. Don't ask questions. Yeah. That is when the game is rigged. That's what I'm talking about. How do we bust out of that? You bust out of it by keeping your own thoughts. Don't let somebody else's thoughts influence you. Okay? That's how you do it. And today it's more and more difficult than ever. But if you back up again thousands of years, or back up 1,000 years, when the printing press was invented, Gutenberg invents the printing press, and who took that thing over? Governments and the Vatican. But once that happened, then they realized one of the most powerful tools they had was dogma, propaganda, and media. Now the media comes into play. Newspapers, right? Government information, the word of God. God is saying that. All of that goes into that distribution model and goes out. So even 1,000 years ago, right? We're in 2025. So go back to 1400, 1500, and the distribution of those one sheet newsletters going around, influencing people. And then you hear that, or you read that. Now somebody else's thought is influencing you. It's crazy. It's crazy. So same model. Today we have the internet, right? Today we have 24-hour news that never stops. We've had all of the institutions of the world. When you really break this down and you look at the powerful, look at something like Elon Musk, controls the skies, controls the rockets. He's now got his own internet. He's pursuing AI. He's got Neuralink and brain implants, and all of this to control you. Self-driving cars to control you. Man, where's this car going? It's taking you to prison. Unlock the door. No. I want out. It ain't gonna happen. What's going on? Yeah, think. Yeah. So is the game rigged? It is. Just keep your own thoughts. Think your own thoughts. Force free will onto others and to you. That's how you do it. Continue to ask questions. Don't let somebody else tell you that's how it is. Figure it out on your own. Be independent. Yeah, man, it's 1984, isn't it? It's 1984. Nemo, great way to start off the show. All right, let's see what we got next. Super terrific, thuggy hour. Have you ever been or heard of Bachelor's Grove Cemetery? Supposedly one of the most haunted in Illinois. Bachelor, I have not. Let's see here. Hold on. Bachelor's Grove Cemetery. There it is right there. Popped right up. Bachelor's Grove Cemetery. Wow. So it's in Chicago? There it is right there. Haunted. Ghost City Tours. The Haunted Bachelor's Grove Cemetery. No. Haven't heard of it. I'm from Chicago. don't know everything about Chicago, but I'll be up in Delavan, Wisconsin next year. Maybe we can get something like that set up. Bachelor's Grove. I'm looking at pictures of it right here, and I'm going to tell you right now that indeed looks haunted. But what cemetery doesn't? But this one is looking pretty haunted. Yeah. Yeah, that's strong. That's like in every movie. They must use this for movies. Oh, look at that ghost sitting on a grave. Wow. Wow. Said they got a chain link fence going around it. Infant daughter. Ooh. Wow. Look at that. Yeah, that looks haunted to me. Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Is that a swamp next to it? Wow. Look at that. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm going to check that out. I am going to check that out. All right. Next up, here we go. The MWL says, what do you think happens to us after we die? Are we reborn again? We go to a different world. We go to the Father. That's the great question, isn't it? And before I give the politically correct answer, there's some PC answer to this. And I asked this of a lot of researchers and experiencers and stuff about this. And I never really like a cop-out answer. Well, I don't know, man. I guess we'll find out. I don't like those answers. I have had my own experiences with this. And I think that there are a lot of warning signs along with it. I was talking about this last night with Caroline Corey, and also on Tuesday night with Sarah Breskman Cosme, which is this. I don't know officially. I don't have an explanation of what I experienced. I only have the experience itself. And it is a solid memory that was real. And it's crystal clear. It's exactly the same today as it was when I came out of my coma. But here's the warning sign with that. I don't let that experience affect this experience of life. Right? I don't. I'm enjoying my time on Earth. My friends, my family, my job, my experience, all of it. It's too much fun, and I have a mission here of trying to figure stuff out, and trying to get to that knowledge so I can share it with all of you. And that is, I don't want this to end. And one would say, well, but if that's, when you talk about your own experience, then, well, isn't it better? Isn't it that? I don't know. I don't want to just go, well, okay, I don't fear anything, so whatever. No, I don't want to look at it that way. So that's the warning sign. Having that question answered in a concrete, definitive way, I don't think should be a part of our life. Having people come back from that experience and talking about it, sure, I want to know. Yeah, that's okay. But don't let it change your decisions and your life here. No. There's too much that needs to be done on this planet. There's too much. And we need to make this place the best that it can be. And that's our job here. It's our job. Here is another way to look at that. All right. If we find out that there's nothing, everything ends and you just become fertilizer, and there's nothing out in the universe. There's no life. There's no ET contact. We are all there is on this planet. And when it's over, it's over. Then what's the reason? Let's just party. Let's burn this sucker down. Yeah. What's the reason for tomorrow? Who cares? I wouldn't. No. So, but if there is something else, if there is the possibility of that, and extending past that, ET and life and civilizations and everything, and then there is a real bona fide reason for joy and bliss and keeping this planet beautiful and perfect for our children, for the future, for everything else. So your time here is wonderful. ET eventually arrives and they go, man, this is a pretty cool place. Yeah, this is all right. You guys got to figure it out. You know, you want that. You want to make those friends. You want to extend out and beyond to the other side, knowing that you did the best that you could here. Now you've stepped into this next situation, and now that journey starts. And that's my take on it all. That's my take. That's my take. I know. I feel that. I just feel that consciousness continues. Next question. Count Pupper. Would love to see you have on Professor Stephen Asma. Is that what it is? Asma? Who had a podcast with Paul Giamatti called, what is that? Chinwag. Paul Chinwag, about the paranormal. All right. I will send this over to my producer, Michelle, and I will see if I can get that set up. Stephen Asma, Paul Giamatti. Okay. Yeah. I don't know who Stephen is, but we'll get that set up and we'll take a look at that. All right. Next up. See, this is what I do. I just scroll till I get caps. I scroll till I get caps. Here we go. What is your impression on Bob Lazar? It's a tough call. It's a tough call. It's a tough call. Bob is a tough call. He's a tough call. The people want evidence. You know, they want the receipts. They want this. They want that. And with Bob, with all of those extraordinary claims, came up short on everything. There's nothing to back up anything that he has said. I spent 30 years of my life believing in Bob's story and everything else. And as I started to look at things, and then I was in the middle of a couple of things where I backed up and went, something's not quite right here. And it was painful for me because I spent 30 years just so invested, and it's difficult. It's difficult. So that's where I'm at right now. Will time be the judge on Bob? And hopefully it would be great that something surfaces and he's vindicated and he can step back and go, see, well, yeah, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. As it stands right now, I think Bob has got his followers. He's got the people that are out there, large amount of followers that are devoted to him. But my take is, I don't think Bob cares. Yeah, I think he's completely moved on. Yeah, he still does his things, and he comes out and repeats his story and stuff, and that's still there, and he does that from time to time. I think there's a new documentary coming out. He's got that video game, whatever that was, that 3D breakdown. I never checked it out, or is it out? I don't know. So there's stuff like that, but there's just nothing there. And without going into a long list of pros and cons around Bob, it's just unfortunate. The education background, the hand screen, the hand scanner. Oh my God, Element 115. I mean, I can go on and on. Now, was Bob ever at Area 51? Well, even that original badge, that turned out to be not real too as well. But did he ever go to Area 51? Did he fly on a Janet aircraft and go to Area 51? He says he did. And okay, let's say he did. Did the story just get out of control from there? And he just couldn't help himself. That's a possibility too as well. He did take people out to the black mailbox and looked at stuff in the sky around Area 51 at times that he said that stuff would be going on. Yeah, okay. Does that prove that everything else was? No, it's not. But that did happen. And there is a large part of Area 51 history that we can give him credit for. That we didn't, there was no real proof out there or discussion about Area 51 before Bob. There was a little bit. I'm not going to say that. There was. We knew that there was testing going on out there, the SR-71 and the U-2 and the F-117. All of that stuff was going on out there, but the base itself was kept secret. And yeah, so that's it. I mean, Bob breaks my heart. It absolutely breaks my heart. All right, next. Jack the Lad. How much woo is too much woo? No, there's not too much woo. There's not. I think that I truly believe this, that everything that we call woo and the paranormal and the supernatural, I don't care what it is, whether it's ghosts, spirits, lights in the sky, UFOs, things appearing, all of this stuff, even Bigfoot, I think that it's all one thing, whatever that may be, whether it's entanglement combined with consciousness and the ability to dematerialize and materialize and become interdimensional and travel through portals and wormholes to other planets or other spots on this earth, or just appear in front of people and then disappear, whatever. And that, like I said, that includes ghosts and spirits being gods and angels and Ezekiel's wheel, all of this, that it could just be one thing that we don't understand yet. Just one fundamental cause of all of this. Yeah. I've been saying it now for 10 years, 12 years on this show. One domino falls, they all fall. Yeah. Yep. That's my take. When I see a light appear in the sky and then disappear in the sky, low altitude, whatever, doesn't matter about the color, but just something that does something, just something crazy in the sky. Whatever is doing that is no different than a ghost appearing in your living room, just materializing and disappearing, Bigfoot appearing out in the woods, strange lights in the woods, flying saucers appearing and disappearing out in front of you. Well, it was stealth. Well, yeah, right. That it could all just be one thing: folding of space, wormholes. Oh man. And it all happens at the same time. It all happens at the same time. That thing gets revealed and figured out. How many people are going to sit and go, see, I told you that ghost was real. What I saw was real. that red-eyed Mothman winged dragon thing, that it appeared and then disappeared in this. I told you what happened. And I told you that flying saucer just appeared and disappeared. MH370, right? Right? Just think about it. Think about it. MH370, Jimmy, what are you talking about? I'm talking about something that in today's world, a modern aircraft, the most modern of commercial aircraft, an Airbus that is being tracked by satellites. It disappeared over the ocean. We couldn't track it anymore. Do you know how many satellites are? Every square inch of this planet is covered with telecommunications tracking and GPS. Everything, everywhere. It's everywhere. There's no way that just disappears. The telemetry, the engines, and this and that, over the horizon radar. It's next to Australia. It's got the most powerful radar things. It's sonically under the oceans. We're looking for talking whales, herds of whales, right? We can track all of that, but we can't monitor when a plane enters the ocean, right? We're tracking submarines and their invisible sonic signatures under the everywhere, all over, and we can't do that. Well, okay, maybe not. If it entered a wormhole, we've all seen that movie. So that's my take. Too much woo. There will never be too much woo. The most crazy woo thought that you can have is not crazy enough. Play some guitar. Yeah, I'll do it soon. Okay, let's see. So how did the Sigh games go, and what kind of games did they have? The audience was there, the attendees, very enthusiastic. The Sigh games, that world, in our world of UFOs and awareness and everything that we do, it's a huge community. The Sigh part of our community, the remote viewing, telekinesis, mind side of our, is a very slim part of it. And so putting a conference together like this allows those that slim to all get together and get their yayas out. And they did. I don't know how many attendees were there. I don't know the numbers. If I was going to throw numbers out there, I would say maybe 400. Maybe 500, which is a pretty good crowd for an event like that. It was pretty well attended, and everybody there was very happy and stuff. Now, as far as the games go, a lot of mind sight. There was telekinesis. There was dowsing. And without getting into a big explanation of every game and how it was done, it was a lot of fun. It was very interesting. So you have a mind sight mask on. You've got a measure, how do I say this? A yard marker, like a football field that is stretching out, and then you're guessing colors that they're pulling out randomly, and the colors move back, and you're doing that. So that there's that. Very interesting. The cards were big, and you're pulling those out. That was pretty good. So that's one example. There was another one. There was like a little kids Fisher Price type of game with blocks, with these 6 colored posts, and then you have these wooden donuts, six colors. Have the mind sight mask on, and you're placing the donuts on the 6 posts that are colored. That was pretty interesting. They had a wheel that you spun, right? You put your hands, manipulate it, right? Somehow. And everybody is isolated in these little pods. There's 4 contestants with a camera that is in there monitoring the wheel as it is spinning. And you have to stop it. You have to move it back and forth. There's an instruction set, and you have a time limit. And the judges are watching that. That was a lot of fun. That was pretty cool. Dowsing, but it wasn't with dowsing rods. They did it with a pendulum, and they did it with hands. That was a lot of fun, and what those targets were, and which was looking for metal underneath these cork plates, and there was silver and copper underneath these plates, and they had to find those. I was telling them what type of metal to look for, and so there was that. It was a lot of fun, and there was a remote viewing game too as well, where they had targets. They had a target number, and then they had to draw. Remote viewing. They had to draw the target. A couple of those were very, very interesting. We had the individual competition, and then we had a teams competition. There were 2 teams that were there: the Monroe Institute team and the other one, Vision Without Eyes, VWE. I think that's what they were called. Very interesting. Very interesting. A lot of fun. People very loud. Very appreciative of the event. I hope to see it grow. I don't know how much more it could grow. And I think that this is the first version of the event. I won't be able to do the event next year. I'll be in Scotland when the event is going down. But you learn from this. So you fine tune these games, introduce some other games, and fine tune it. This is what I would do. They had speakers on the first day, the games are on the second, and then they had panels on the third. I wouldn't do it that way. I would do 3 days of games. I would do 3 days of games. I would opening games on Friday, then Saturday, the championship of the individuals, and then Sunday I would have the teams competition. So I would do 3 days of games. That's what I would do. No speaking. The speakers were great, but it's the Sigh game. If you're having the Olympics, you don't have 2 days of speakers speaking about the Olympics and sports and then 1 day of games. No. I would do 3 days of games. That's what I would do. It'd be a lot of fun if they did it that way. But who am I? I'm nobody. But that's just my opinion. All right. Let's see. What got Linda into her research? I would be speaking for Linda if I answered this question. But Linda and I have talked about this many times over the years. So I'm not going to speak for Linda. But while she was a journalist and a correspondent in Denver, things started to happen regionally in that area that took off into a national situation. Of course, it was cattle mutilations and a couple of other things that were happening at the time, and she chose to cover those things. I don't think she expected at the time that this would be the rest of her life. There was things that she was doing, Peabody Awards and regional Emmys and all of these things, and journalism and doing that as a career. You've got everything in front of you, and who knows what you're going to cover. You just don't know where and what you're going to become a specialist at. And for Linda, certainly it became the UFO phenomenon and what came out of that from cattle mutilations. But when I have Linda back on the show next week, I've asked her this question many times, but it's pretty cool to hear it from her because it is very emotional. What got Linda into it? Great question, and I hope that I answered that honestly. I'm not Linda's agent. Yeah. Jimmy, do you believe in German flying saucers? Looking back, if you go into the historical side of German flying saucer technology. If you go to the 50s, right after World War II, there were books, there were speakers, there were research people that were out talking about this. This isn't some modern thing from the 80s and 90s and YouTube videos and from 10 years ago. This has been talked about for a very, very, very long time. Now, when you go back and you look at the images, historically speaking, and you push back into the 1950s and look at this, that's one thing. I think that the Luftwaffe and the Reich at that time was looking at extreme alternative flight methods. You know, and you've got to look at their jet technology and their planes and how they approach stuff. And that includes all of their weapons. They were just, they just seem so advanced and crazy. But the flying saucer part of it, how much is accurate and how much of it is science fiction from the 1950s that continued on and was, I don't know. I really don't know. I firmly believe, based on my research, that they were looking at alternative flight models. The comments that have been attributed to different Operation Paperclip Nazi scientists that came over after World War II and started to talk about how they achieved what they achieved and where the ideas came from, saying that it came from space. We had help from up there. That's crazy stuff. And you look at the way that they were designing things, it was the look at things and their approach to stuff. At that time, it was not of this earth. It was way out there. Very creative. So where did these ideas come from? Did they have a working flying saucer? You know, you look at the Die Glock, right? The bell. Yeah, I don't know. For me, I look at the 1950s. You can look at the research from today, yes, but go back historically as a researcher and tap into the comments that were coming out of the 50s and the research that's there. It's pretty compelling. All right, this is from Sharon Ely. Have you ever had Sean Leonard on the show? I don't know. Let's see. How do you spell it? Sean Leonard. Got it. All right. Sean Leonard. Medium. Sean Leonard, TV show. Spirit Talker. I don't think so. Now that I'm looking at his picture. Okay, so the easiest way to do that, if you're going to ask me this question, just pop in your person's name and then Jimmy Church Radio. And if nope, I have not had him on the show. Okay. All right. So that answers that. All right. Yeah, this has been talked about a lot lately, right? What do you think about VP Vance's obsession with UFOs? I think we're all obsessed with UFOs. There isn't anybody that isn't obsessed. Even if they say they're not, they are. Somebody said, nah, I don't think about it. You're lying. You have thought about it. We all think about it. Everybody. So stop with that. How accurate are the reports coming out? Yeah, he's been on a couple of podcasts. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be really straight with you right now and everybody else that is listening around the world that will listen to this later. If somebody would have asked me last month, just out of the blue, who's the vice president of the United States, I would have had to have paused and thought about it. I don't know if I could have answered it because dude's been invisible. I know nothing about him. I don't know what state he's from, where he came from, how he was picked, or I know nothing about J.D. Vance. So therefore, I don't know if he's got an opinion on anything. Okay? So when all of this stuff started to get sent to me from my producers here, and some of these clips that surfaced about his comments, yeah, I reported on it, but I kind of cracked a joke. Is that his name? Oh, it's J.D. Vance. Okay, so J.D. says the August break is coming up for Congress in Washington, and he's going to spend that time doing, his words, a deep dive into the UFO question, and he wants to look at the videos. More to come later. So, yeah, okay. Vice President Vance says these words. I'm assuming they're semi-accurate. You know, I don't know how accurate. I wasn't there. I did listen to some of the recordings. I listened to pieces of it. So I'm assuming that is pretty accurate. Has he made comments before? I don't know. I don't know anything more than that. But somebody in that position in the White House, vice president, making these comments, I invite them, I encourage them, and that's my take. Yeah. I don't have it. I don't know his personality. I don't know the good, the bad, the evil, or anything about. I don't know anything about him. I didn't even know what he looked like until. I'm being straight too, man. I'm being really straight. When I did the news on him earlier this week about these comments, so I'm working with Renee, and she's sending me stuff and sending me the highlights of everything, and I'm looking at it, and I go and I listen to it, and I stopped and thought to myself, what does he look like? I don't know anything about anything. I know, isn't that crazy? I stopped and thought, would I have known if somebody asked me, hey, man, so what do you think of the vice president's comments on UFOs? I would not know who they were talking about. Yeah. That's how powerful POTUS is. J.D. Vance, completely out of focus. Don't know who he is. Oh, man. There you go. Shows you how much I follow politics. All right. So tonight's our AMA. Ask Me Anything. Linda Moulton Howe had technical issues with her camera. We will get her rescheduled over the weekend. We're looking at a couple of dates next week. We will get that. And I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black. I'm going to take a quick break and come back with more of your questions. Stay right there. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to get your alerts and access to over 2,000 videos. Click that subscribe button right now. Go to jimmychurchradio.com and get the Fade to Black official podcast. 2,000 episodes, all of them commercial free for just $2 a month. Watch Into the Vortex on Gaia TV. It's fade to black for the screen. Simple to do. Go to Gaia.com, search Jimmy Church, or click on the link below. Follow Fade to Black on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Get all of the show updates every single day. It's now called X, but who cares? How you doing? Jimmy Church here. Special announcement. Get your Fade to Black t-shirts. That's right. Help support the show. Help support everything that we do over here. We've got 2 t-shirts. We've got 2 ways to get them. Get your Fade to Black t-shirt today. Go Backley Tappy. Go to jimmychurchradio.com and become a Fadernaut. Get a membership. That's right. Everything is commercial free. You have access to downloads, and you get to call yourself a Fadernaut.
Jimmy Church, Gaia TV, Fade to Black, here at Machu Picchu with Brian Forster and Hidden Inca Tours. Amazing tour so far, Brian, but we're here to announce what we're going to do next year in 2026. What's going on?
Okay, November 2026, we're going to have our major tour of Peru and Bolivia, either a pre or post tour of Paracas and Nazca on the coast. And then after that, 6 days in Easter Island.
Bucket list, Easter Island. Come join Brian and I and his amazing team here at Hidden Inca Tours for Peru, Bolivia, and Easter Island. Signing out. Say goodbye, Brian.
Bye, gang.
River Moon Coffee, makers of the Fade to Black blend. Truly the best coffee on planet Earth. Just visit rivermoonwellness.com or their Amazon store. It's all simple to do. You can check out the Fade to Black blend, the Game Changer blend, or any of their Black Moon Wellness products. It's the only coffee I drink. It is the best, and it's Doc. Again, rivermoonwellness.com.
All right. Welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, we are doing an AMA. Ask Me Anything. The show must go on. If you are tuning in for Linda Moulton Howe, Linda had some technical issues with her camera tonight that we just couldn't get worked out. And we are rescheduling Linda for next week. And we'll work on that this weekend and make that happen. But the show must go on. And this went up to 1 minute before showtime tonight. And that's it. The show must go on. So that's what's happening. Linda will be with us next week. So you can post your questions in all caps over in the live chat, and I will attempt to get to everything. So let's keep this rolling. Jimmy, this is from Ghost Fixter. What are your thoughts on the drone situation? Okay. Yeah. Well, hang on. Sorry about that. That's why I drink River Moon coffee. Visit the Amazon store. Fade to Black blend. That's all you got to do. Search Amazon. Best coffee in the world. Okay. So, and I was watching some of the recent comments about the drones, Gabbard and Gillibrand and some others about this. And we have a mix of things. We have a mix of things where some are drones for sure. Some are misidentified aircraft. Absolutely, for sure. Why do I say that? So many people were looking to the skies because things were being reported and seen, and there was a certain amount of civil hysteria that started to surface, and these were going on around the world and across the United States, shutting down airports, shutting down Air Force bases,
And they were there. So the other mix of things were unidentified craft. Now, were these adversarial, right? Were they Russian? Were they Chinese? That's a possibility. Were some of these off planet? That's a very real possibility too, as well. And then everything seemed to die down. If you look back, do you remember Oklahoma, Colorado, those drones that were in long lines up in the sky? That was pretty crazy to see that in those videos. We never really got the answers for that either. We have the shoot downs that happened over North America and Canada. We never got the truth behind any of that. And that includes the alleged Chinese drone that was shot down off of the East Coast eventually. So we have all of these. It is pretty crazy. It is, and the technology just for drones, if we just stay on that, the technology for drones is real. You can purchase drones, commercial drones, private drones, various sizes. I can't tell you how many companies are out there making drones. It's not just DJI, right? You can get a drone anywhere. Go to Costco. How many drones can you buy at Costco, right? With a 4K camera on a gimbal. How many? It's countless. They're everywhere. And so, and the larger commercial professional drones, if you want to spend the money, you can get those. They have to be registered and you have to get a certificate and so forth to fly those. But they are everywhere. You throw lights on those and hang something from it and then fly that over your town or your neighborhood. You could freak some people out with that. Absolutely. Some are pretty noisy and you hear it, but if you put that thing at altitude, you can't hear it. You simply can't. So there's that. And then the phenomena itself. You know, is it a situation where we had actual UAP, UFOs? I just said UAP. I can't believe I just said that, but actual UFOs or UAP in the skies and then cloud that over with drones, right? And bring the government in to do that. Is that that is a real possibility of this stuff. I have seen when the drone stuff was really taking off, I had this crazy sighting here in Palmdale. And I've talked about it a lot, but it's still difficult for me to explain. Now, yes, I live next to Skunk Works. Everybody knows that. It's right down the street. And I went out to look at the meteor shower that was happening at that time. I've got my binoculars and my telescope and stuff, and I'm on the second floor of my house in the back, which faces Skunk Works. And I'm out there, and I step out, and meteor, just, it was crazy. Then another one. I went, oh, man, this is an action-packed night for this. And while I'm looking at that, underneath that, right, so I'm looking at the meteors up here, but down below, there was this white light that was strobing, that was moving around above Skunk Works. And it didn't really have a set pattern, but it appeared like it was just staying in that airspace right above Skunk Works. So in between the meteors, it just kind of caught my attention and I started to watch it. So what does this have to do with drones? Check this out. This is pretty nuts. I thought, oh, okay, it's a helicopter. That's what it's a police helicopter. But then I'm looking, there's no lights on it, no flashing helicopter lights or police lights or anything, navigation lights. That wasn't happening. It was white. And this went on for 10, 15 minutes. And I was watching the pattern, but then I noticed it was silent. If it was a helicopter, you'd hear it being a helicopter. It was silent. So I'm watching it do its thing, and it was really never changed altitude. It just stayed flat, and it was just like doing this thing, but stayed flat. And so as I'm looking at it, that thing came over my house. It stopped, and then it just came straight for me, and then stopped right above me. I know that sounds fantastical, but it happened. But I was able to look up straight at it, and what I saw were three lights. Okay, three lights that were strobing really fast. All three. And now, was it a triangle? I don't know. I didn't see the surface of it. The lights were flashing and strobing, and it's blocking everything out. But when you have three of anything, no matter what the position, let me go like this. If you have three of anything, whatever the position they are, it's always going to form some kind of triangle, right? Well, this was equilateral, the distance of the three on all sides, like this. Does that make it a triangle? Well, the lights were in a triangle for me, but I don't know the shape of the craft itself. It was a craft. But when it came right over me, it was still silent. And it wasn't high. It was probably, if I was going to make a guess, 500 feet above me, but dead silent, stopped right above me, and then went back and continued its thing. And I didn't shoot a video. I didn't care. I was kind of bored with it. But this is the deal. It was something being tested. All right? And it was silent. And it was smooth. And it was up there for a long time. I don't know how long it was up there when I stepped out. It was probably already there. I didn't notice it. I was looking for meteors and the meteor shower. So it was probably already there when I stepped out, but it was there when I went back in the house, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes later. So if it was some battery powered drone or something like that, I would think that they would have landed it, charged the batteries or whatever, and continued. But it stayed up there the entire time. Now, it felt to me like it was a platform that was anti-gravitic. I know that sounds sensational, but this thing was quiet and it was really smooth. It was very precise, almost like a video game, what it was doing up there. Very, very smooth. Never went up or down, but very just, yeah. Yeah, very, very, very smooth. Didn't jitter, no. And it was quiet. So could this technology be part of testing around the country? And could this be what some people were seeing? I don't know how big it was, but when it was above me, and I'm guessing, again, about 500 feet, it was probably, it's so hard to guess, but I'm going to say 30 to 50 feet wide. A good size, this was a craft. It was pretty good size. I don't want to give away anything that's being worked on out there or what it is. And I don't have much more to add than what I'm adding, but I don't want to get precise to day, dates, and times, because that just tips off somebody that wants that information, and they could go back specifically to the day and try to find it. So I would never do that, but I'm just telling you what my observation was. And so when you consider what I observed versus this other activity around the world during that period, this could be tested at any given time. Were the lights part of the propulsion system? I don't know. It was weird that it was strobing like it was. Really fast. Really fast. Like a strobe light in a dance club or something. Really fast. Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. It's crazy. So yeah, that's my take on the drones. I think it's a combination of things. It's a combination of us, them, and possibly something off planet. That's my take. I don't think I'm wrong. Has anybody noticed
No, I don't know what you're talking about. You're talking about the WNBA, unidentified objects. I don't know what that's about. Okay. Jose Sanchez. There is a reenactment video where an autopsy is being performed on a small gray, and as they cut into it, blue blood dribbles out. Is that because it is that way or something else? Well, you're talking about the alien autopsy video, which is a reenactment, and that came out in the mid 90s. Came out on video. It was also on Fox TV. Alien autopsy, fact or fiction? Yeah. So if we take everything at face value, that's with the creators of that video, what they said, that film, that they got the actual alien autopsy video from a retired military officer in Florida, got the film, took it back to the UK, and when they took it out of the canister, the film disintegrated, and they only had a few frames of it left. They watched it. I think they watched it in Florida, but they got it back to the UK, and it just fell apart. All right. So, but they knew what they saw, so they wanted to recreate what they saw as accurately as possible and made that video. The original film was shot in black and white. Blue blood. I don't know anything about the color blue. Ray Santilli, I don't think ever said anything about that because the film was in black and white. So how would he know if it was blue blood? Interesting that you say that it's blue, unless you're talking about another video that I don't know about. Yeah, that's how all of that came about. Santilli, who was on this show, I interviewed Ray. Ray said, look, we used 6 frames of the original film in the alien autopsy video. Okay. All right. We just don't know where those 6 frames are. Ray then, this was in the middle of COVID. Ray put up a single frame. I think it was a single frame. Was it the same? For auction. I think he wanted $1 million for it. I don't know if it ever sold. I don't know if that ever sold. Hold on for a second. Did the alien autopsy film frame sell at auction? Yeah, let's do that. I think that NFT. Okay, so yeah, it was 2021. Has an opening bid of $1 million. Okay, it's being sold. It's being sold. Oh, I don't know if it's sold. It says up for auction, up for auction, up for auction. Yeah. It doesn't say if it's sold. The minimum bid was $1.196 million or 450 ETHs at that time. Yeah, I don't know if it ever sold. I don't know. All right, moving on. Next question. Did I learn anything at the Sigh games? Anything new? No, but there were a couple of moments there. There was this gentleman out of, I think he was out of Denver. His name was Ryan. And he impressed everybody. There was another young man. I'm going to say young man. Dan, I think it's Dan Tang. And again, do any of this. And I think he was into the subject and like learning of his abilities within the year. He was pretty impressive too. And then there was
Daria with her daughter. Daria, who I first saw at Contact in the Desert. Daria hit everything at 100%. She's very impressive. Yeah, I mean, but she stood out head and shoulders way ahead of everybody else. If I mean, from what I saw, because I was on stage with her, I stood right next to her. I saw all of this go down. A couple of times I passed out on the stage. If her abilities are real, and she's mind sight, the mask and everything, which, I have one. You cannot see through it. And she's wearing that and doing 100% on everything. She has got a true gift. Yeah. I mean, she should be one of the most famous people on this planet. And I think we're going to hear more from her as time rolls on. Yeah, that was pretty impressive to see Ryan and Dan do their thing. I think they even surprised themselves. And when they won their specific games, they were way ahead of second place. Like, I mean, it was just really apparent what was going on. It was, beyond chance and everything else. So Ryan, really nice guy, motorcycle racer, by the way. Yeah, tats and sleeves, really cool dude. I got a chance to talk with him and his family after the competition, and just a really nice guy. Same thing with Dan Tang. Yeah. I think they surprised themselves. Because they don't know. They have got a mask on. They don't know what everybody else is doing, or the competition next to them. They don't know. You don't know until the mask comes off. And I'm walking up, assessing and counting and giving that information to the judges, and for the judges to tabulate and work their magic there to figure everything out. So I could see, as the host, as the MC, I can see what's going on, but I really didn't know until I went individually and tabulated everything. But and neither did they. So Ryan comes out of that, pulls off his mask. He's wondering how he's doing, and I walk down and through, and then to find out that he was just so far ahead and so much more accurate than everybody else. I think he surprised himself, and it was great. Cried, tears. It was very emotional. It was very cool to see and to witness all of that. Okay. Can you show us a pic of your Sigh games? I didn't take any pictures. Maybe somebody else did, and there's stuff posted online. But unless the selfies that I took. Man, like 5 questions about Bob Lazar tonight. So what, Bill, what is this? So is this a full event or just a quickie? You're talking about tonight? Oh, you posted that an hour ago. Am I that far behind? Jimmy, when in San Diego, come see Paul and I. Going to Gaia this weekend. All right, Julie. Oh, you're talking about at the end of September. Why don't you come and see me? I think I'm going to be in and out. I'm going to go down and do that dinner cruise and then turn around and come back. All right, let's see. Again, I'm scrolling, just looking for all caps. Jimmy, am I wearing pants when I do the show? Yeah, most of the time. What am I wearing now? I'll show you. You want to see what I'm wearing now? I'm wearing Adidas jogging pants. Oh, you can't see. All right, let's change cameras. Adidas. Oh, I'm not wearing socks. Wearing sandals. Yeah. All right. There you go. Finish your Black Shadow encounter? Which one? Finish your black shadow encounter. Which one? The one in my bathroom? Down the hall? That one? God, I'm so scared of that. I'm so I'm serious. Every night, so after the show, I sign off, and I, make some dinner and things, and I kind of wind down, So in this right now, this is 3 double shots of espresso, River Moon coffee. All right. So it takes me a while to come down off of that. But anyway, so, do my thing, blah, blah, blah. Right now I'm watching Kim's Convenience for like the 5th time. I love that show. If you haven't seen it, watch Kim's Convenience. But so, I go upstairs and I walk into my bedroom. My bedroom is on the bigger side of large. So you can't see like the far wall or anything when you go in, right? You come in but I have a light switch for a chandelier that's above, and it's I don't even know if you want high ceilings, 2 stories tall, the bedroom. And so way up there is a chandelier, a hanging light. And I'm scared that when I go in and I hit that light, because I have to hit that light before I can walk over to the lamps on my nightstand. Right. So anyway, I hit that light, and is there going to be something there in the corner on the far side of the room? It's like one day it's going to happen. It's going to happen. So, finish your black shadow encounter. If you're talking about the one that happened when I was in the bathroom, I've told the story many times, but here's the deal with that. I have a hallway. So you go out this hallway that way, and then you turn left. And that hallway goes all the way back to the other side of the house. And at the end of the hallway, all the way down, is a studio with drums in it, and guitar and bass amps and guitars and a PA system and microphones and lights, where me and my friends can go and jam. It's a rehearsal, whatever, jam room. Really cool. And so, but in front of that, and that's got double doors to enter into that studio. It's not one door, it's double doors. So those are always open. So it's a big entrance. But outside of that is a bathroom, and that bathroom door is at an angle. It's not flat against the hallway. The door is at like a 45-degree angle. And so when you go, when you're standing in that bathroom, there's a big mirror on this wall in front of me that's here, and you can look in the mirror. But when you look in the mirror over your shoulder, because of the angle of the door, you can see the double doors open. You can see it. So I'm standing there looking in that mirror, and I'll change the cameras there. And so behind me, I could see the double doors. I'm looking in the mirror. And then from behind me, I see this shadow. Yeah. Just go right past me like this. And I screamed. I did. The shape was going in, that's the opposite. It was going in this direction and backwards behind me. And it looked like there was something in front of it. I keep saying it was like doing this. I don't know. But it was quick. Anyway, so it goes behind me, and I scream. And I bounce back. I fall into the door, the bathroom door, and then I get my bearings. So I go back out in the hallway, and I turn on the hallway light. And I walk straight in the studio, and of course, there's nothing there. But that was it. That was it. That's all I saw. I didn't have another encounter that night, and nothing confronted me in there. But what I saw, I watched it. I looked at it. It wasn't out of the corner of my eye. I was looking straight at it. I was looking. Yeah, it was crazy. It's crazy. I still don't. I don't know. I went when I was in the room. I turned on the lights in there when I was in that studio, trying to figure out what could have created the shadow. Was there something else? No, there wasn't. The lights were off in the hallway. The only light that was on was the light in the bathroom, and that was me in there. And so, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That's all I got. That's all I got. Now when I go in that hallway, right there, I can see it. It's lit up. The little light switch is orange, right? It's got a light in it. I can see it right there. I walk into that hall. I flip that switch up. I do not walk down that hallway without the lights on. I light it all up in advance. Yep. All right. Let's see. Yeah, I just talked about this, JB. What are your thoughts on Vance and Tulsi Gabbard talking about UFOs this past week on podcast? Distraction from Epstein fiasco or genuine interest, or both? It's weird. That's a really good point, JB. We are all, I'm one of them, are so used to assuming that media coverage of events overlaps and overshadows something that they want overshadowed. I think this happens all the time. Happens every day. And so with the 24-hour, 60-minute news cycle, like it's going down all the time. So if there is something out there in the headlines, they just release something else. You know, I can't tell you how many times this month that I have forgotten the news from the day before because something else happened today, and it just overlaps, overshadows everything else. And it just gets bigger and crazier all the time, to the point where the media, corporations, the government, the military, religion, they're all used to things getting covered up. Do you remember what was that thing last month? I forget the name of the company. The company where they were at a Coldplay concert and the CEO got busted arm in arm cheating on his wife, right? On the kiss cam. That was live, and that was a big deal. I think he resigned or he got fired or whatever, and probably divorced by now. That was like that was covered up the next day by something else. And then something else happens. It's like, wait, what was that, guys? What happened at the Coldplay concert? It happens all day long, not all week long, all day long. Next big news, next big news, next big news. And we were used to that happening with the UFO subject, right? Something would happen with you, but then some news comes out and covers it up. Or they would use UFOs to cover up something else that is going on. And in this case, you bring up Epstein. And the Epstein files, which I've left that alone. That is so toxic. So toxic. The problem with the Epstein files, and the reason why people want this covered up, everybody is involved with this. Different political backgrounds, different religious backgrounds, different corporate backgrounds, both sides of the aisle, every consideration that you can think of, everybody is involved with this. I think what ties everybody together, if there's a consistent thing, is money. Everybody's rich. Everybody's running around with a crowd of people to a private island with a known pedophile. That's what some of them do. And so to release the files because you want somebody implicated, but now you can't, because now it's not, and now it is the most toxic, crazy thing out there. So yeah, I don't care who you are. If you're remotely involved with that, or a group of, or you have a corporation or a government side or religion, whatever it is, man. We got the monarchy in England involved with this, right? It's like crazy. So yeah, yeah, it's nuts, man. It's nuts. So UFOs a distraction. Everything is a distraction. Yeah, that's the way the media is today. It's rigged, man. It's all rigged. It is so rigged. Okay, let's keep going. Yeah, that's such a toxic subject. Let's see. If there are no aliens, but the tech is real, will Earth go to war with one another with the ARV tech? Yeah, that's another great question. If that tech is out there, if we have it, why don't we see it? Well, if the tech is out there and we have it, maybe we could use it and nobody would know. Why wasn't it used in Afghanistan? Why wasn't it used in Iraq? How do we know that it wasn't? You know, how do we know? How do we know that? We wouldn't. We wouldn't. The revelations or the comments, the statements that were made recently about the Tic Tacs being Lockheed Martin. Well, I've said that. I never said that it was Lockheed Martin, but I said there's a possibility that that's out there. Could it be ET? Sure. It could be ET. Could it be our tech? Sure. Could it be adversarial tech? Sure. That's a scarier thought, isn't it? That Russia or China or another country in this world could have that technology and we not, and they could go out and test it on a carrier battle group to see if the tech is viable. And it appeared that it was successful. That's scary. Is it scarier that our own aerospace companies could develop that tech and then test it? Well, we would do that. Would they do it and reveal? No, I don't think they would. I don't think that they would reveal anything. They would just see how we would react. And if our sensors, you would want to do, you don't want, here's the thing with it. Why it could be Lockheed. This is one idea I'm putting out there. I've mentioned this before. But if you tip off, right, the rear admiral, the captain, whoever's of each ship, that there's going to be some testing being done on the battle group. And so just be aware. Well, now you've tipped it. Now they're looking for something. Now they're expecting something. Now they're looking. That's not how an adversary would deal with us. They would sneak attack. That's what they would do. They're not, hey, okay, by the way, this is Vlad Putin. Okay. All right. I'm just giving you the heads up. We're going to be testing our equipment on your battle group off the coast of San Diego. That ain't going to happen. So why wouldn't Lockheed go out with the knowledge of, the Joint Chiefs? We're going to go test on this battle group. Don't tell anybody. We just want to see if this technology is real and how they would react to it. Okay, go. Nobody's going to get hurt, right? Right. Okay, nobody's going to go. Okay, go do it. And that's what you would do. You would want to know how our sensors, our advanced radar would react, how our pilots and military personnel would react to something like that. How would they deal with it? And I would say, if that is the case, that is the exact scenario on how it would play out. Yeah. So it wouldn't surprise me if it was Lockheed testing equipment. Could it be a drone from outer space that was here goofing around? Well, we've certainly had those kinds of sightings for decades. The Tic Tac over the Nimitz battle group was not the first Tic Tac that was seen or identified or described. No, it's happened many, 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 many times. So that's where I stand on that. Would we, if it came to, would we go to war with that tech? Like I said, how do we know that we haven't yet? But this is the other thing. Once the tech is proven, just like AI and artificial general intelligence, once an adversary knows that you have that technology, you've got the upper edge. You do. So at what point do we reveal it? Or do you never reveal it? Yeah, these are great questions. And they are non-trivial questions. These are real questions. Let's see. I saw George Honori talking to, I don't know what this is about. Let's see what talking to some guy saying that he knows of at least 500 clones, and China is big in that. Any thoughts about clones? Human clones? Clones of human beings? Yeah, it's being done. It's being done. I know that's dark, and that's a dark thing, but yeah, it's a dark space, man. That's a dark space. But yeah, it's being worked on. It is. Would somebody? Well, yeah. I mean, it would be logistically a huge operation, and tech, and people, and facilities, and everything else that would be involved with that. Would somebody be witness to that and come out and talk about it? Yeah, I mean, that would be secret. That would be above top secret at so many different levels. To have somebody come out and talk about that would be a big deal. Same thing with aliens or ET. That'd be a real whistleblower. That's some Karen Silkwood stuff right there. That's a really, really, really big deal. All right, let's see what is up next. Let's see here. This is from Cindy. Hey, Cindy, how you doing? Cindy's amazing. Jimmy, do you think Arrow will release how they determine which UFO sightings are credible and which are still undetermined? I would like to see that. Here's the problem with that. There are those out there in the Pentagon and in the intelligence agencies that do not want this talked about at any level at all. Period. End of story. And they will fight till the end to stop it. We have those out there that are fighting for the truth. I do believe that too as well. Not everybody's bad in government or the military. There are some good people there that want this to come out. We, the public, who pay for, through our taxes, everything, the military, elected officials, we pay those salaries, right? You pay that. All right. We are loudly talking about this, and the government works for us, allegedly. All right. By the people, for the people here in the United States. And if that's what we want, well, eventually we're going to get it. We're going to have to pull it out of everybody. There are forces out there that don't want this to come out. I watched Tulsi Gabbard's comments about this and her deflecting in that interview. It was actually pretty good. My husband's here and he's smiling. Why is your husband smiling? Is he into the UFO subject, or is he not and he thinks you're crazy? Why is your husband smiling? But why did she constantly go back to that instead of answering the question? Because she wanted to deflect off of the answer. But the one thing that she did say was, look, I'm still assessing. I'm looking at everything. Well, can you talk about it when? Well, I don't know. It depends if it's classified. And so if it's aliens, if it's ET, forget about the tech. If it's aliens, tell us. Don't tell us about the tech. Keep the tech secret. All right. I get that. And tell us you're going to keep the tech secret. But we are not alone. If you know that we are not alone, we're in contact and you're in contact and they are here, tell us that. It's our right. Because that's nature. That's just life. You can't suppress that. And we have the right to know. The tech, keep the tech. All right? Just tell us about ET and contact. What do you know? What's going on? The other part is we're seeing stuff constantly. So don't tell us that we're not seeing it, because we are. Okay? So That's where I'm with it. Cindy, that is the $1 million question. And it's so frustrating. I just can't say it enough. Hey, Jimmy, what's the one guitar you really like to own outside of what I have now? Nothing. I've got it all. I do. I'm looking at a few things. I like, they're not cheap. Some single pickup Les Paul standards. Those are pretty cool. Do I need it? No. But man, they look really, really nice. I like those. But no, pretty much, I mean, a few things have surfaced that I think are pretty neat. Kramer's got a new 84 model out that is a matte finish in orange. Yeah, that's kind of appealing to me. I would like to get a custom made SG with Tony Iommi pickups in it. I would like to do that, or try to put something together like that with the crosses on the neck. I would, it feels more and more like that would be something custom. But I'm thinking about building a couple of more guitars, and those would be Strat bass with some kind of carved bodies. And I'm thinking of a couple of designs. So that's an area I would go into. The other stuff that I'm kind of looking at is a couple of Jackson Randy Rhodes. I want to get a white one with pinstripes, but if I do that, do you get it with an original Strat bridge that he had, or do you get one that's not as authentic, which would be with the Floyd Rose? So I'm kind of looking at that, but I'm also looking at the black Rhodes too as well, and thinking along those lines. So I already have a couple of Rhodes. I have a white one there, and I have a natural one there with a maple neck. So I already have them, but yeah, I'm kind of looking at that. Yeah, I wouldn't mind just to add to things a dime slime. I've always liked the dime slimes, which are, you can't see it. Let me see. Yeah, that guitar there, the Dimebag version of that guitar, which I have over here on the wall, but that as a dime slime, it's got a Floyd on it, flame top, but it's green and yellow sunburst. Yeah. So, but really, honestly, man, if you look at this wall here, this is covered. Right? Oh, my living room and everything else. There's just, I want to play what I got. The other day, this was last week. I was out of town this weekend, but I went through all of these Van Halen guitars. I went through all of these, right? They're down here. There's another row up there. I went through those and tuned them all because they were all out of tune. I didn't think that they were. And then randomly, the two PRSs, oh, you can't see them, but there's a PRS Santana there, and there's a custom 24 right there in green. And those were out of tune. So I pulled those down. It took me a day and a half, and threw new strings on it. And I go through that, and I'm thinking, I can't let this get out of control. I have them, play them. Yeah. So if I get another guitar, then it's going to be one more guitar that I can't play or pay attention to. So there you go. Let's see. Champ, during all of your travels over the years, have you ever had a time when you've gotten homesick? I would say every time I travel, I get homesick at the end. I'm always excited to get where I'm going to. But when I'm on the plane flying back home, That's when I get homesick. I just can't wait to get here. I can't. I can't. You know, my Harley, these guitar, my life, my thing, everything that I built here. I got to tell you, one of the things that I miss when I'm gone is coffee. Great coffee out there in the world. Yeah. And I drink it all from around the world. I drink all, but I make the best coffee with River Moon Fade to Black blend. I've got the best coffee makers. I've got the best grinders. I've got the best coffees, and I have my own way of making it and so forth. And I miss that. I will come home after drinking coffee on the plane and at the airport and have breakfast that morning. I come home, and first thing I do, I will drop my luggage. This is how homesick I am. I'll drop my luggage in the foyer at the bottom of the stairs, and I walk straight into the kitchen to make coffee. I do. And I'm just like, oh. Kim's Convenience. Are you guys watching that show? It's an older show. It is amazing, and it is funny. But the dad on that show, he's drinking tea and coffee all the time, drinks tea. But they make noise with it on the show, and he loves it. And he's looking at somebody, but he just goes just like this. I understand that. And I do it. I do it. I love my own coffee. This is so good. You have no idea how delicious this is. River Moon coffee. 58 millimeter espresso maker. 58 millimeter tamper. 58 millimeter. That's the number, man. That's the number. Remember that when you get an espresso machine. 58 millimeter. And 2,000 watts. 20 pounds of bar pressure. You look at all of these things for the consistent, perfect shot of espresso. Once you get that dialed in, that will make you homesick. Yeah. I suppressed tech for 50 years. A lot of people have. Do you think Antarctica or Greenland could be hiding a breakaway civilization? I do. Well, not a breakaway, a previous. Yeah, either human or non-human. Yeah, I do. And that's from Exploratory Unitarian Assembly. Is that a church? Is that a church? Are you a nonprofit? Are you a nonprofit? Look, if you want to suppress something, if you want to control the world, you better figure out how to stop that ice from melting, because that shit's going to reveal something that they don't want revealed. E.T., that's one thing, right? You have been controlling the dogma and history for so long, telling us when things started and why and where, right? 3000 BC. And then something melts and a city is revealed in Antarctica. Greenland's a good example too as well. But if that happens, man, you will lose the elite, the power system that is in play right now would lose all control of everything. They would, because everybody on this planet's going to go, you've lied to us this whole time. Even the faithful that don't think that they're being lied to, and then you show that they have been lied to. Oh, man. Yeah. So they better figure out how to refreeze Antarctica real quick. I'm not playing around about that. I am not playing around. Okay, let's see. What's next? Man, I'm only at 7:21. Okay, I'm going to go to the end. Let's go to the end and go backwards. Oh, my God. Seriously? See, that's what's so much fun about doing. Oh, man. That's a lot of questions. Oh, man. Okay. I can't even get to the end. I love you guys. I love you guys so much. How do I get to the end and go backwards? It just keeps adding. It just keeps adding. I'm at 8:36. Where am I at now? 8:45. It's 8:56. Okay, I'm close to the end. 8:54. Okay, I'm at the end. Now I'm going to go backwards. Let's get the last questions in. I'll go a little late. Watch, there's no questions. You guys are just chatting, probably because you thought that I wouldn't get to you guys. I've got 90 minutes of going backwards in front of me. Okay, here we go. Okay. You guys are arguing in uppercase. Nice. All right. Wow. Okay, now I'm at 8:37. What an active chat room tonight. You know, we should do that one night. I'll just sit in the chat and talk about the chat and ask questions in the chat. And we should just do a chat room show and just light this thing on fire. That'd be a lot of fun. Okay, I don't want dead air here. Is that a question? Okay. No, you guys are arguing in uppercase. What's this guy's name? Charles, man, you keep answering in uppercase. Chill out, brother. Or maybe you can't see. Yeah, every time I stop on something, it's Charles. Oh my God. Okay, this is great. And we're at the end of the show. Let's see. I'm at 8 o'clock. Yeah, I don't want dead air. I apologize for that. Ever asked Paul about Bet's ball? Oh, one of his recent interviews. Remember a ball, but not sure if it's the Bet's ball. Yeah, suspicions are his dad did swap it. Yeah, I didn't follow up on that. That's my bad. When will I have Tsoukalos on again? He's out on the road right now. I can get Giorgio if Giorgio has an open day and I have he will always come on this show. He loves the Fadernauts. Giorgio's great. Okay, I'm just looking, and if I don't get anything, I've got 30 seconds left. I was looking for one last knock it out of the park question. Do I think the Acorn craft from Kecksburg was a failed test flight of Nazi tech? Well, that's Benno. Here's the thing when we talk about Kecksburg. You have all the witnesses. I think that this is pretty solid right now that were there on the side of the road and watched the military go down into the woods, put this thing on a flatbed, and then pull it out. It was covered by that time with the tarp, but they saw the shape of the craft on the tarp pretty up close. Then there were the witnesses that saw it on the ground. And what they have described is something in acorn shape. So then we look at the original descriptions of the Die Glock. And now are we talking about some piece of time travel that showed up? Possible. Yes. Acorn shape. Was it a satellite? Was it a Russian satellite that re-entered into the atmosphere? Was it that? Was it an alien spacecraft that came down? Was it that? Was it a jet engine off of an airplane like Donnie Darko? Was it that? It was under a tarp. It was taken away, and the military never spoke about it after that. So we don't know. Kecksburg remains a mystery. It is still researched today. There are some new comments that have surfaced over the last week from different researchers about Kecksburg. But until we have the official side from the military about what they put in that flatbed and removed from the woods that day, we'll never know. We'll never know. Hexberg is great. So there you go. Jimmy, your thoughts on Masters Future Humans UFO push? Yeah, I'm down with that. I think it's a partial explanation of things. If time travel is real, I believe that it is. One direction into the future has, we have proven that. The extreme parts of it, yeah, okay, don't know. Going backwards, again, don't know, but that's a tougher thing to pull off according to physics. But in the future, if they would have figured it out. So why wouldn't they come back here? Well, they would have to come back from the future to this day for us to know about it in this timeline. So even Michael Masters, who's a brilliant guy, but we've all lost sight of something. If they came back to last week, we wouldn't know, would we? We would have to have evidence of a time traveler in the past to have surfaced for us to know about it today. But if they went to the past, we would not know about it. And if they are in the future and they're coming back to the past, but right now we are on August 7th, 2025. So what if they come back to August 10th, 2025, right? 3 days from now, we wouldn't know. They would have to come back right now to this day and date for us to know about it. That's crazy, isn't it? Think about that. If they're coming back a month from now or a year from now, from 1,000 years in the future, we don't know that. Right? So if they right now, if somebody 1,000 years in the future, us, wants to go back to Egypt to see how the pyramids were built, why would we know that today? We wouldn't. We simply would not. Think about that. It's crazy. They would have to come back to the now, right here and say hello. Yeah. Video interruption. We are from the future. We are here. Yeah. We're coming on this date. That's the only way. Otherwise, no. If somebody in the future, we're here. We're right now at this point in time. Right? So right now, they're going past us into the past. They made the decision to do it. And what? We wouldn't know. That's it. That's it. They would have to come right now, bam, to the now. Right now. Right now, right in front of me, right here in the studio. That's it. Other than that, you wouldn't know. There you go. There's Fade to Black. Everybody enjoy your weekend. This is my Friday. If you are here for Linda Moulton Howe, she's going to be with us next week. We're going to get that booked over the weekend. Linda had issues with her video system in her studio. We just couldn't get it pulled off. I've done, I don't even know, 50 interviews with Linda over the years. And it's always great when she's on. She was excited to be here. It just didn't happen tonight. So we'll get it rescheduled. It's going to be amazing when she is here. If you are here for Linda, just announcing again, little technical snafu tonight, but we'll get it set up again very soon. First available date that works out for both of us, and we're looking at a couple of dates for next week. All right, I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Everybody enjoy your weekend. Have a great, safe, amazing time. I'm going to. Haven't had any real time off in a while, and I'm going to enjoy this weekend. I'm getting up early tomorrow to go ride my Harley. All right. So until Monday, all I've got is go back, Lee.
Fade to Black is produced by Hilton J. Palm, Renee Newman, and Michelle Freed. Special thanks to Bill, John, Dex, Jessica, Dennis, and Kevin. Webmaster is Drew the Geek. Music by Doug Aldrich. Intro, Space Boy. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network. This broadcast is owned and copyrighted 2024 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network, Inc.
It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Go back, Lee Tappy.